Hey everybody, this is Tracy here for another edition of A View from Tracy's Point, and we are here to recap Iyanla Fix My Life, Season 6, Episode 12, which was titled The Return of Neffe and Soullow.
Let's go.
I don't know why Neffe and Soullow need to come back on this show, and I don't know why Iyanla gave them the opportunity to come back on this show, because this episode turned out worse than the first time they were on this show. Now, if Iyanla will be bringing some people back, she needs to go find Kamaya. What's Kamaya's last name, y'all? I can't remember. But Alexis, the Alexis chick that was kidnapped by the woman Gloria Williams. Them the people Iyanla need to go find and bring back on this show so we can get some closure and resolution to that situation. But Neffe and Soullow, she need to let it go, okay? So let's go ahead and get into what went down on part 2 of them trying to reconcile their relationship. So the episode opens with Neffe being welcomed to Iyanla's new home, and I love how Iyanla being a different compound or different estate every season that she comes back. So I don't know if she's working with a realtor or something who's like donating these properties to her in exchange for something. But you know, they're always nice pieces of properties and everything. So Neffe then arrived, and so Iyanla asked her if she completed her homework. So Neffe says that she started the homework, but then she starts making excuses as to why she didn't finish. So like our children do when they're in school. So one of the assignments was to unpack her baggage. And then Neffe says that she went to counseling up to 5 months and she used to go weekly, but then her insurance stopped covering the therapy. And then she says, oh, and then also Neffe received a scholarship from Iyanla to attend a Wonder Woman's workshop, but she didn't bother to show up for that either. So Iyanla cuts her off and lets her know that the answer to the question would be no, you didn't do your homework. Iyanla reminds me so much of when my kids was coming up. Like, it was a yes or no question. If you got to be going all around the block and through the cut and up the alley, then the answer is no, you did not do it. So Neffe begins to, act like she about to cry, putting on this show and everything, is whining about she doesn't have a support structure, that Frankie ain't available. She can't call her to ask her for help. And so she tells Iyanla, that the struggles to wrap her mind around her own reality is just really, really tough. And so Iyanla brings up how Neffe showed up 3 hours late to the last show that they had, and then for this one she was like 45 minutes late. And so Iyanla says that she has the same behavior now that she did the last time, so she really don't know how Neffe, claiming that she want to change and need help, but she ain't really to do anything to even convince Iyanla or make Iyanla think that she is open to change. So Neffe tells Iyanla that she forgot to bring her suitcase. I guess that was the baggage she was supposed to be bringing from the last show. If y'all remember, they had to put all that stuff in the suitcase that represented all the craziness that was going on in their relationship. So when she got to the hotel, she said that her and Soullow had an argument because she was talking to another man back in California. So the fight, she tells Iyanla, stemmed from her suggesting that the attention that she receives from this man makes her want to go down on him, have oral sex with him. I'm just like, is Neffe really in front of these cameras talking to Iyanla about she want to give some man head because of the sweet things he's saying to her on the phone, that fact that he calling her early in the morning, wishing her a good day, make her want to go suck his wee wee. I was like, this woman is emotionally disturbed. And Iyanla told her, like, I just don't understand how in the middle of the healing process, there's a discussion about sucking on weenie. She's like, I just don't get it. You got so much crap going on that a weenie is the last thing that you need to be worried about, and I agree. So Neffe then breaks down and tells Iyanla about the lack of affection and physical intimacy in her marriage. And she says that she feels that being married to Soullow is just a title. You know, they just husband and wife, but they're not really living the life of a married couple. They're not saying the things they should be saying to each other or doing the things that they should be doing, that they don't have what did she say, a marital bed, that they you know, they don't have sex, they don't do anything. I guess basically Soullow just paying them bills around there, and Neffe really want him to be gone so she can bring that other dude in there and give him a blowjob. And so of course Iyanla's not falling for it and basically tells Neffe that she's just making excuses and she's not doing the work that it takes to have a successful marriage, and she needs to come to terms with that. So Neffe lets Iyanla know that she was diagnosed with depression and bipolar disorder. And so Iyanla was like, Lord have mercy, like, this ain't what I'm training for. Like, this is what I do. I do therapeutic sessions. I can't treat bipolar because I ain't licensed to be giving you no medication right now. So Neffe reveals that she refuses to take the medication prescribed to her by the doctor for the bipolar, and that she really don't think that she has bipolar. But don't most people that have bipolar don't think they bipolar? So the diagnosis appears to make sense to Iyanla and explains all the bizarre behavior with Neffe. But Neffe says that she tried to take the meds, but they just made her feel, you know, outside of herself, like she was high, like she was drugged up. Which basically, if you drinking and taking the medication, or if you smoking weed and taking the medication, I could see how you would feel that way, Neffe. You know, Iyanla be coming with the analogies. So she told Neffe, suppose the doctor told you that you had cancer, and what if you refused to take the medication? Guess what? Your ass would be dead right about now. So Neffe said, well, dang, I never looked at it that way. So at the end of the session, you know, Neffe hugs Iyanla, you know, thanking her again for having them back on the show and for wasting what is about to be her time. So after their session, Soullow arrives, and Iyanla greets him at the door, you know, and they head on in for their little opening discussion to see where Soullow believes that they are in this process right now. And so he reveals that he almost died from an ulcer, and Iyanla was like, well, I guess so, because all this damn stress you under is causing you to have ulcers, and I'm surprised you ain't had no heart attack or something right now. You know, but he doesn't want to be a part of the session nor his marriage, so I don't know why he there either. So Iyanla asks about the argument that him and Neffe had, and he says that Neffe was drinking at a restaurant and he felt disrespected, and that, you know, she's talking on the phone with her friend, you know, the guy whose penis that she was to suck. Like, not only has Neffe come on this show and told Iyanla that she want to have oral sex with this man, but she done already also let her husband know that she want to have oral sex with this man. And like, what is it with the oral sex thing? Like, why don't she just want to have sex with the man? Like, I can understand that better than her coming on this show talking about she want to give somebody a blowjob. Like, this is blowing my mind because I'm not getting it. So, see, I keep on calling this man Soullow. So Soullow admits that he feels less than a man if he leaves his daughter. So he's using the daughter as an excuse as to why he won't just go and pike up, leave Neffe, and get on with his life. Because, you know, he's not a bad looking guy. And aside from Neffe, like, Neffe is a drug to him. And that's what's really keeping him down in life. So if he just go ahead and get over Neffe, then everything, I think, would work out better for him. And then take your daughter with you, because obviously Neffe is not in any situation to be parenting anybody's child. And he's probably the only one in the house that's parenting the children as it is. So get your daughter and get on up out of there and get on with your life, man. And then Iyanla also told him that, the reason that he can't transform into a different man is because he's stuck in this destructive lifestyle and this destructive marriage, and he just really needs to like sit back and think about, is this where you want to be like 5, 10, 15 years from now? So suddenly from upstairs, Neffe decides that she about to get it popping up in there. So she starts yelling down, talking about Soullow is lying on her. And she also says she wants to leave. She ready to go. So as Neffe and Soullow continue to yell over each other, Iyanla tells Neffe, go. I think she went upstairs and was like, get back in the room and mind your own business. So Iyanla telling her to mind her own business seemed to only make it worse for her. So she's saying, he's a liar. And Iyanla's like, so what if he's lying? What does that have to do with you? Does him lying, what did she say? What does that have to do with you? Does what he eat make you go to the bathroom? But Neffe wasn't hearing it. She was like, he lied. And so Soullow, he joins in, wants to know what he lied about. Tell me what I'm lying about. What have I said that was a lie? So then Soullow tells Neffe that she just upset that she's no longer his master. Like he ain't doing whatever she say, when she say, how she say it. And that seemed to have truly made her flip her lid. And so Iyanla tells Neffe, you need to calm down. And then Neffe admits that to Iyanla again that she wants to suck this other man penis. It's like, child, she must be done had that before, and it's got her losing her mind. So Iyanla tells her that she has to figure out, how to stop being affected by what Soullow says. And she also tells Neffe that it's okay for them to see things differently and have different experiences. Like it's not the end of the world, and she shouldn't be like all over the place about it. So afterwards, Iyanla heads down to confront Soullow. So she tells him that his contributions to their destructive behavior led to his ulcer. And she also asks him, why is he there? And so he says he's there to learn how to let go. Soullow, just speaking from experience, is the only way to let go is to let go. Like no matter what anybody says, what you do, the only thing that's going to matter, like you're going to have to come to the point where one day you just get your stuff and you leave. You let go and you say, God, whatever happens, happens, but I'm not doing this anymore, and just refuse to look back. Like no matter what Neffe is saying, no matter what she's doing, just don't look back. Just keep pushing forward. Keep pushing forward. That's the only way you're going to be able to let go, brother. So Soullow insists that he is unbothered by any of Neffe's foolishness and that, he is finally a free man. But Iyanla points out that a truly free man or a truly free individual wouldn't be compelled to engage with Neffe the way that Soullow still does. And Iyanla then confronts Soullow with scripture, asking him what kind of God would want him to stay in such a stressful situation, even on behalf of the kids. And so she was like, I would not, in the name of entertainment, put my name on the level for exploitation. And so she also demands that Soullow apologize to her. And then next, Iyanla, goes and tells Neffe the same thing. Like, y'all done brought me into this foolishness. I don't want to be a part of this, making a sham of my show. But Iyanla, you should have known from the first time they was on there that this was exactly what was about to happen. Oh, and then she told Neffe, she was like, you're a black woman in front of the world, cussing at the top of your lungs at a black man, and you got 5 children. Like, no, you don't get to do that in my presence. But Neffe probably high as a kite and don't even know what she's saying or what she's doing. As Iyanla is getting Neffe straight, Neffe was just sitting there like, I think Neffe sees Iyanla as like a mother figure. You know, you feel like you're not getting your mother's attention, so you do something stupid. And even if she yells at you, like she's probably so used to Frankie yelling at her all her life, as that was the only attention that she's received. So now she cutting up in front of Iyanla so that Iyanla will yell and scream at her. But that's not the attention that you need, Neffe. What you really need is one of them hugs, one of them good old hugs that Iyanla be giving to her cast members, like when she had them brothers on her show that time, and she was just hugging on them, and them boys was just melting in her arms because all they ever wanted in their life was the love and the attention of a parent. And I think that's what's going on with Neffe, that she really wants that kind of attention from Iyanla, but she's never been taught how to seek or receive that type of attention. So the next day, Iyanla returns to talk to Neffe, and she wants to do what she can to get Neffe to accept her bipolar diagnosis, because at this point, this is really the most important thing, because if we know she's bipolar, she's been diagnosed as bipolar, she's not taking the medicine, this whole thing could just really turn into like a situation that don't, like a Lifetime movie situation. So I think that's Iyanla's main concern right now. So Iyanla tells her, you know, that she's also dealing with substance abuse, and you just can't be mixing the two. And I think at the end of the day, the substance, like Neffe is saying she doesn't want to take the medication, but that's what happens with people with bipolar. They don't want to take the prescribed medication, but then they do other things, like they smoke weed, you know, to self-medicate. They drink to self-medicate. They become sexually, and it sounds like with Neffe, because I know someone who has bipolar who deals with sexual addiction. Like, he could have the perfect wife. They could have just made love, right? And 5 minutes later, he'll go and pick up a prostitute standing outside the grocery store and have sex with that prostitute, because that's how he treats his bipolar. And so that may be the case with Neffe, wanting to have oral sex with this guy that she's talking to on the phone. And so Iyanla was basically telling Neffe that she needs to take her condition serious and accept the solutions that the doctor is giving her, and that medication is the only way that you can treat or successfully or accurately treat the bipolar. And then she also tells her that she needs to get her life together and start preparing her home, you know, without Soullow. You know, that this may be the real time that he leaves, so you need to get it together and understand that you may be on your own, and you may be a single parent soon if you guys can't work this thing out. So Iyanla gets Soullow to accept that he was out of order the day before, and so she tells him that he's addicted to the pain that he's suffering in the relationship with Neffe. And she also tells Soullow that he's killing himself by remaining in the relationship, and that he possibly needs to go seek some mental health. some help from a mental health provider. And I think this was the same thing that she told him in the first episode, like, you are addicted to this craziness around you, and that the only way you're going to, like, just get some help, brother. Because where are their family and friends? Are people not telling them that this is stupid, what they're going through? So finally, Iyanla brings Neffe and Soullow together for one final meeting. And, you know, as they have their conversation, she does one of her little exercises. So with this one, she has them take a bowl and they pour a glass of water into the bowl. And so in the bowl was dirt. And so as they pour the water, you know, we get these scenes from when they were on the show the first time, and just all the craziness and madness that was going on. And so after the bowl is full, all they have left is like mud, you know, dirt and grainy, and it's just yucky. So then Iyanla asks them, like, do you want to stay married? And so Soullow says that he got issues and he don't think he need to be in that relationship. And until he can deal with his issues, he just can't be with Neffe because she driving him crazy. So Iyanla agrees that this marriage is over and it's time for them to let it go. And so she tells them both that it's important that they learn how to co-parent, and get the help that they need to help them be successful in co-parenting. But it's really time to walk away from this marriage. And so then Iyanla gets Neffe to apologize to Soullow for her behavior and the way she was cussing and carrying on. And Soullow does the same thing, apologizing for the way he had talked to her and the way he'd been acting. So before they leave, Iyanla gives them both some sound advice. And she tells them that, you have to learn how to stop looking at each other. You have to learn because it's a codependent enmeshment. And it's so familiar to you that you'll go there by default, like without thinking, you just go into attack mode. And so, she's like, get some help working that out because it's not going to get any better. And she was like, basically, don't try to do this by yourself because y'all need some professional help. And it's professional help that I can go to school to help you with. So, after they do the little recap after the show to see where they're at, Soullow says that Neffe's drinking increased once they left the show, and as a result, he moved out of the house so that he could focus on his own health and stop worrying about her. And he says that both of them are in the process of getting a divorce. However, Neffe tells a whole different story. She says that she's been using the tools that Iyanla gave her in order to evaluate herself. And she claims that she's not drinking. She's gone back to school and that Soullow still lives in the house with them. And she claims that he is refusing to sign the divorce papers. Now, guys, I don't know about y'all, but this is a recipe for disaster. And if it flashed across my TV today that these fools done ended up in a murder-suicide or something that happened to their kids or something, I wouldn't be in the least bit surprised because this is craziness. And the even sadder part is that there are a lot of people living with the same kind of madness. So guys, that's it for me. Leave your comments below. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Should Iyanla have even invited them back on her show or accepted their request to come back on the show? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. Rate the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And until the next time, I should talk to you guys later. Enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.